An investigator put one of the images into that very same editing software, then clicked that very same swirl effect, and simply reversed it. Which in turn led to this.
Welcome back to another reaction video. I'm Ende.
And I'm Ollie.
And today we got
Mr. Swirl, the internet's most disturbed user.
We'll find out who Mr. Swirl is today. This is it's kind of like a old video, but you guys were asking us to react to a lot of Nick's content, like even his older content. So we're gonna check it out. We're gonna try to react to all of his old stuff that we didn't get a chance to react to, because we started reacting to him when was our first video? That Smart Schoolboy 9 nigga. What happened to him? It's crazy how like that was like it blew up, and then like what happened to Smart Schoolboy 9? That shit was crazy.
I don't
know. Somebody really needs to keep tabs on that nigga.
I think people actually do keep tabs on him.
I was like in a Reddit community and it just shut down.
I've been seeing TikToks of people like hunting for him.
Yo, really?
So like, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Huh, you guys seen that?
I'm just making sure that like
I've been seeing TikToks of people like tracking him, like looking for him.
I'm just making sure. I'm making sure, because that shit was too crazy to just like, okay, it's over now. It was like a little meme,
no,
like not a meme, but like
that thing's been going on.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. But yeah, Mr. Swirl. Let's get into it.
Oh yeah, one more thing. All right, so like I posted in like a lock Reddit, like a dreadlock Reddit, and some of y'all like noticed like me, and I was like, oh shit, like I didn't think people were gonna recognize me in the Reddit. Like it's only like 100K people in there, and then yeah, some of you guys recognized me, and then one person was like, yo, he's still in, like this is not him, and I was like, yo, no, this is me. So yes, that was me in that Reddit community. That was not nobody else, that was me. But I appreciate y'all niggas for like thinking that it wasn't me and being on their ass. But yeah,
hope you guys is watching this is taking care of yourselves. Let's get into the video. Thailand?
Pattaya, Thailand. Two young brothers enter a local internet cafe, take their seats, and begin playing their favorite games. One boy was 13, and the other just 8. And together they sat there and played the way they always did, getting lost in their screens, wasting the day away, until one of the boys felt a tap on his shoulder. Standing there beside them was a similarly aged child, a stranger to the boys, but a friendly one who strikes up a conversation and eventually poses an offer. According to the unnamed child, he had a friend who lived close by that owned a special computer, one far better than the device they were currently using, and one that had any game you could ever dream of playing. And he was headed to that friend's home right now, but he didn't want to go alone. It was an offer that the boys just couldn't refuse, and considering the child was clearly around their age, they saw no red flags and agreed to go with him, following the boy to a nearby apartment building, then up 7 flights of stairs and into a dark room.
What the?
Waiting for them inside that room wasn't some sort of supercharged computer, and it surely wasn't a friend of the boys. And instead, it was a monster in every sense of the word. A depraved soul who, years down the line, would go on to become one of the most notorious predators ever to walk this earth.
Oh, shit.
An entity known only at the time as Mr. Swirl. And these children had just fallen into his trap.
This shit crazy.
He uses kids to trap other kids.
What kind of sick motherfucker is this?
In 2004, German police entered a long-forgotten storage unit where beneath the piles of junk and old appliances, they'd unearth a single hard drive. Once plugged into the computer, the device revealed hundreds of images, some showing various locations, breathtaking scenery, delicious meals, and CP. The images showed scenes of depraved sexual abuse, being done to individuals who were clearly minors, with this abuse being far worse than you'd ever imagine. And it wasn't just one child either, as across that hard drive seemed to be evidence of multiple separate instances of abuse.
Holy shit.
Including images of 3 young boys taken in a dark apartment building. The discovery was horrid, though sadly all in a day's work for investigators who encountered things of this nature on a daily basis, and it's a discovery that likely would have never been discussed by the media after that one day had it not been for one unusual detail. Typically, in cases involving CP, those taking the photographs and performing the actual abuse will almost always go out of their way to ensure that they aren't shown on camera. That way, if authorities should stumble upon it, they would essentially be unidentifiable. However, the dozens of photos found on this particular hard drive were different. Because rather than hiding just out of frame like all the other predators seemed to do, the man behind these images had instead gone out of his way to ensure he was featured within them, shamelessly inserting himself into every single picture, even posing for them before, during, and after he had changed the lives of these kids forever. And although his entire body was shown in these photographs, the only thing hiding his identity was the addition of a single effect, one that swirled the man's face into a distorted pixelated mess, making him completely unrecognizable, and leaving his face to look like this.
Not gonna lie, this shit is crazy, bro.
That shit creepy.
No, like, what would, like, possess, like...
I don't know, but I think people like this should be publicly tortured and executed.
Nah, this is some sick-ass shit. Just based off the fact that, like, he was like, nah, I'm gonna pose in these pictures, but I'm gonna just distort my face. Damn, that's fucked. Damn.
Disturbingly arrogant about it. A man posing with his victims while destroying their lives, hiding behind only a single swirl of color, almost as if he was taunting any investigators who might eventually
I wonder
find
what
these
happened
images.
to all these kids.
And given
like,
the clear indications that this man was obviously a serial abuser, and likely still out there offending, tracking this anonymous figure down became priority 1 for law enforcement in the area. And it's there that he would be given his nickname, Mr. Swirl. And with the Swirl being the only thing standing in the way of investigators.
I'm gonna say one thing, that's what he wanted. Like, when motherfuckers is this sick, and then the public gives them the nickname, they like, that just like
they get off to it.
And that just enhances them. They're like, oh yeah, like, what's another example?
Like, it boosts their ego.
Yes. Like, give me another example though. A serial killer that they just gave a nickname. Who else did they give a nickname to?
Oh no.
Like the fucking, okay, like the axe murderer. Like, bro, that motherfucker is gonna be like, niggas is calling me the axe murderer? Oh, let's get busy. Let's just keep getting busy. Bro, the last thing you wanna do is give motherfuckers as this evil nicknames, bro. Cause like, then they gon', yeah, no. Mr. Swirl is crazy, this crazy.
His face, most would have assumed that identifying him would be a walk in the park. However, this was far from the case. As the images began to be dissected, it quickly became apparent that deciphering the sensor was going to be far more difficult than initially thought, and potentially even impossible, as the pixels had been scrambled in such a unique way that there wasn't any known method to unscramble it. And quickly, what should have been their most valuable clue, the one that stood so tantalizingly close, became a lost cause, leaving investigators at their first dead end. Realizing that things were about to get much more difficult, the German police enlisted the help of an agency known as Interpol, an international crime-stopping organization with a special unit dedicated to resolving crimes against children. Interpol immediately began to get to work, attempting to decipher the photos in a different way, this time by using context clues in the pictures to track down where exactly they were taken, which in turn could tell them where this man was from and where the abuse was taking place. But this too unearthed yet another problem. The first batch of images was discovered to have come from Cambodia, but the next showed evidence that the man was in Vietnam, and then in Thailand, and potentially even South Korea as well. Rather than gaining clarity, the locations of these images instead made the search even wider, as the man was seemingly traveling from country to country, committing his crimes and then fleeing, thus never staying long enough for law enforcement to catch up with him, making it completely unclear to investigators where he was actually from. And given just how vast his travels were, at this point, it was realized that Mr. Swirl could be anywhere, a moving target, so to speak, and an active one as well. During the investigation, which would later be dubbed Operation Vico, in reference to Vietnam and Cambodia, which seemed to be the main sites of his abuse, investigators made a disturbing discovery: that Mr. Swirl's photographs were not exclusive to just that hard drive, as photo after photo began to appear on various online forums, with all of them featuring that disturbed, swirling face. The images were shared across the web seemingly straight from the man himself, and were sent out to various predatory groups that were filled with individuals just as sick as he was.
What?
Within these groups, it was
All of
considered
them
a badge
gotta
of
go to
honor
jail.
to show your body and face within the content you made, thus leading to the sender becoming well respected among his peers, which showed us two things. One, that this was likely the reason why Mr. Swirl inserted himself in these photos, as it had led to him becoming a beloved member of their twisted community, in turn granting him access to all the CP he could want. And two, that the images found on the hard drive did not account for his whole body of work, as in these chat rooms and forums, police would find far more photos featuring their suspect, raising the total from a few dozen to nearly 300.
What the
By
fuck?
this point, Mr.
Nah, this shit
Swirl
is sick.
had been-
I seen some shit where like niggas, bro. I don't know if it was a video I watched a long time ago or somebody on TikTok talking about it, but niggas that be in those chat rooms, bro, they be sending pictures of their kids. That shit is twisted.
That is sick.
That is crazy as fuck. Like bro, I don't even know how niggas like that exist. That is wild, bro. You sending your own kids in a fucking group chat of, that's crazy.
Selling it. That's fucking sick.
Selling it, oh my god.
Good thing there's things like IP addresses and shit now. So hopefully.
Yeah, get all these niggas, bruh.
Authorities were essentially searching for a ghost, and though these new images must have felt like a gut punch at first, they would eventually prove to be integral to their investigation, as for the first time in their hunt, Mr. Swirl had made a key error. Within these postings, Mr. Swirl had forgotten to hide his IP address.
Oh, what an
in turn,
idiot.
revealing the
there
general
was IP
area in
address
which they
back
had been sent, with the
Not me
location
not knowing
being
nothing.
Vancouver, Canada. This break revealed the key detail that he had some sort of tie to Vancouver, and that he was likely a sex tourist, someone who travels to countries that have loose laws around their age of consent in order to be able to abuse children without any repercussions.
That's
With
fucking
Mr. Swirl
disgusting.
clearly doing the same thing, visiting multiple countries in Asia, making his material, coming home, and then sharing it with his friends. It certainly
What?
didn't
That's
solve
hella
the
sick.
case, but it was finally a step in the right direction. And unbeknownst to the team working on Operation Vico, they were quickly approaching an even bigger revelation. As authorities were working hard on pinning down Mr. Swirl's location, some members of the team held on hope that the images themselves could still be unscrambled, and upon digging a bit deeper, one member of the team would actually recognize the swirl as having come from a fairly standard editing program, which revealed something. The swirl effect wasn't like a typical sensor or blur. Those effects completely mask or even remove the pixels from the actual photograph, making them nearly impossible to decipher. But this effect did neither of those things, and instead it simply rearranged the pixels of the man's face into a swirling pattern, meaning that this image still contained all of its original pixels, and Mr. Swirl's face was somewhere in this picture. They just had to piece it together. And so, in what must have felt like a Hail Mary at the time, an investigator put one of the images into that very same editing software, then clicked that very same swirl effect, and simply reversed it. Which in turn led to this.
Oh, that's so fucking
In an
crazy.
investigation that started all the way back in 2004, finally, Mr. Swirl's face was revealed with a single click, a whole 3 years later, confirming not only what the man looked like, but also that it was truly just one man
Fucking
behind the
ugly
swirl.
ass.
Fucking dweeb. See, niggas like this be so dumb because like I can go on Pixar right now and swirl my face like that too. Like what was he thinking? Like they couldn't like like I mean I guess the technology was different back then, so he probably thought he was a fucking genius. But like it's so easy to just swirl your face. I mean I guess I'm saying that now because it's 2025 and like we have that shit at the palm of our hand, but damn, that's crazy. But I guess he did want to get caught because like nigga, he posing and like, I mean,
He's
eventually
smiling and shit.
that nigga's a fucking sicko.
He is ugly,
Oh.
yeah.
Fucking, oh my
All they had
god.
to do was find him. Interpol first started their search by sending this man's image to every single police station the network had access to, asking if anyone across the world had a criminal in their database who might match this photo, but this attempt would fall flat, indicating that whoever this man was, he likely had no prior criminal record. Time was clearly of the essence, and they knew that with every waking moment, Mr. Swirl could be adding to his list of growing victims. And wanting to act fast,
This is
Interpol
scary. I don't
made a
even like
very
watching this.
unprecedented decision. They reached out to every single major
bad
news
for
outlet
him.
across the world and asked them to show this man's face on their broadcast to help bring this predator to justice. Additionally, the images of Mr. Swirl's face were also plastered in all corners of
That
the
shit
internet.
unswirling though is
Within
so
just one
crazy.
day, the story was quite literally everywhere.
You know?
What started as a small
That shit is
search
crazy.
for an anonymous man had become an international manhunt overnight, and within just hours, Mr. Swirl would be anonymous no more.
Yeah.
Our top news story this hour, the worldwide search for a suspected pedophile is concentrated in Thailand this morning. We now know the suspect is a Canadian. The CBC's Michael McAuliffe reports from Bangkok.
This morning, Interpol announced they now believe they know who the man is. He's been identified as a Canadian, 32-year-old Christopher Paul Neal.
His name is Christopher Paul Neal. Not only did Neal's face and body match perfectly with Mr. Swirl, but he also had grown up just outside of Vancouver where the IP was tracked to. And he had moved from country to country across Asia in recent years, countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand.
Yeah,
the
it was
resemblance
him.
was so undeniable that even one of his own family members came forward to help identify him. Christopher Neal
As they
was in
should.
fact Mr. Swirl, a discovery that came with some disturbing revelations. As it turns out, Christopher Neal was actually working as a children's English teacher, a job he had held in each of the countries he was discovered to have abused young boys in, making it likely that he used this position of power to lure in children from his classes
that is
to
most
eventually
definitely
abuse
what he
them
did.
and share their photos online. Along with this, it was also revealed that he had used his relationships with young boys to help lure in other children for him to assault.
This is
As
so
looking back on
fun.
the story that started this video, he had recruited a clueless child he knew to lure those two brothers back to his apartment. This discovery also shined a spotlight on his social media pages, and specifically his MySpace page, where he chillingly wrote, "Loving Asia, will I ever come back?" while in the midst of his abuse spree. But for me, one of the most shocking revelations was that those images that he had posted during the investigation weren't actually posted to his computer. At some point in the early 2000s, Neal had stopped home for a brief vacation to visit his family, and while there, he decided to upload all of his CP to his internet friends. But rather than using his personal device or a public computer, he instead broke into his own brother's laptop and uploaded his content there. That way, the images would be tracked to his brother and not him.
Oh
which
no,
explains
this
why he
nigga
never bothered to
slimy
hide-
too? He a fucking weirdo, a creep, all the names in the books, but he slimed out his brother too like that. It's crazy, bruh.
That's crazy to set your own brother up. That's wild as fuck.
For some shit like that. Oh wow.
That's hella
Mind
sick.
you, he could have got like a burner, laptop burner or whatever. Nah, but this nigga decided
He
to
wanted
do that.
it to be like if this shit, he knew if this shit ever like traced back to them, he'd be
Oh.
like, it would trace back to him so the family could look at him as the weirdo instead of me.
Oh wow.
Like, no, you
Oh
freaking-
wow.
Why would he think that would even work when he's the one?
Yo, this nigga is crazy.
He got his whole face swirled up in there. Like,
Damn, that is.
that's
I
crazy.
mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. Like he doing all this shit, but it's just surprising off of the fact that like, yeah, he dragging his family into that shit. Well, it's
Yeah.
like they got nothing to. That's crazy, bro.
his IP address. The more they learned, the more disturbed the story became, as even at the time they discovered his identity, it was revealed that he had currently been working in South Korea as a teacher. But when the officers arrived to arrest the man, he was already long gone. Having certainly seen his face all over the news, Christopher made the decision to flee the country, being spotted in this image captured at an airport in Thailand,
Ugly
as he had
ass.
flown to the country likely in an attempt to find refuge.
Fucking look like an
Throughout the
egg.
following days and weeks, his likeness would turn up time and time again in the country, indicating that he was somewhere in Thailand hiding out. And having cornered him in the region, it wouldn't take long for police to knock on the door of an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere, in which Christopher Neal happened to be hiding, bringing the multi-year
Damn, they
search for
found
Mr.
his
Swirl
ass.
to an end.
They say you thought you could hide.
Nigga could
Sick
nowhere.
fuck.
Why they gotta?
Don't cover his
I'm
face
like,
now. Don't cover his face now.
why they allowing him to cover up?
Right?
Following
Like,
his
no,
arrest by
you better
Thai
look at
police,
everybody.
He will be charged for his assault on those 3
You
young boys
sicko.
from the internet cafe, as it was the only crime they could prove had taken place in their country, and with it carried a prison sentence of 5 years. Admittedly,
No.
the sentencing was
Send him
light,
back
but the plan was to have
for all
Neal
those
turned over
videos.
to Canadian authorities after he did his time in Thailand, where they would also prosecute him all over again, with the hope being that they could do the same thing with countries like Cambodia and Vietnam, and essentially
Oh, so they
force
was
him
gonna
to live out
pass
his
him
life
around
in
to each prison.
However, when the sentence was completed in 2012, and Christopher was deported back to Canada, the shocking decision was made to allow Christopher Neal to walk free.
And who did that? Because whatever judge did that is a
When Neal was
pedophile
detained in
too.
Canada, authorities let him walk under the condition that he would never own a device that connected to the internet again.
Why
As
would
well as
y'all
the
let
plans
somebody
he would
like
stay
that
away
walk
from
free?
parks, schools, and also register as a sex offender. I can't for the life of me understand why this decision was made,
He's
but from what I
free?
could gather, it seemed to center around the fact that his crimes were international, and that none of his other victims had actually come forward, meaning the other countries they had hoped would prosecute never actually bothered to pursue it. And because
It
his
doesn't
crimes
matter,
didn't
bruh.
happen
He
on
had all
Canadian
that shit
soil,
on his
not
fucking.
much could really be
Yes,
done.
it did, because
Bro,
he had CP.
wait a minute.
Despite him posting copious amounts of CP. That's what I'm saying.
Wait a
He
minute.
had that. That's illegal. He has to go to jail for that. You can't just go to Canada and be free for having fucking CP.
No, this is crazy. So
Because not only is it CP that you have, but it's CP that you created.
no, yeah, look,
Like you
hear me out though. This is wild
This shit's pissing.
because this creates other. So that means other niggas could do this too and like get off free too. Or they would just have to take the same route as him. And just
So
and,
stupid.
and then they'll be free too. So they'll have to live in Canada.
Hopefully, whatever judge or DA goes through their profile will not be as lenient. Because I don't understand how you could have CP and post it and create it, but then just walk free.
I don't know why
That
they're
doesn't
so,
make sense.
I don't know why they're so lenient towards niggas that do stuff like that.
That just doesn't make sense.
But let somebody,
He should
bro.
be
But they
fucking
give
tortured
They
and
give
killed.
motherfuckers 15 to. They used to give niggas 15 years to 20 for some weed, bruh.
Literally.
But for this, like,
They said, oh, go ahead, go back into society where all our kids go to school and play.
they could have easily made an example out of this bum ass nigga, but they was just like, now they like other people could do this too. Like, it's like, oh shit, like, bro, the niggas in communities like, oh, this nigga, like, he's free, like, what's stopping us from doing the same
Literally.
shit? Like, this is crazy. Let's hear the rest of the video.
so stupid.
This is
And
crazy.
so in the end, the hunt for Mr. Swirl ended up lasting almost as long as the sentence he served.
Wow.
And even after everything this man did, he was let loose and allowed to assimilate back into society.
This is bullshit.
But
He's
this isn't
just
where our story ends.
Okay.
Not even a full year later in 2013, it would be uncovered that Christopher Neal had somehow managed to purchase a computer and also connect it to the internet, a clear violation of his conditions. And though he claimed it was just for writing a book about his life experiences, when investigators seized
Nobody
the
wants to
device,
hear about your
they would,
bum-ass
unsurprisingly,
life.
find even more CP, 25 images to be exact, including 2 with his signature swirling face.
What the
As
fuck?
it turns out, Christopher had been using the device to contact his fellow pedophile friends, where he would even message one of his disturbed friends right after his release, saying, the Swirl liveth still, proving without a shadow of a doubt that he was remorseless about his crimes and took pride in his new nickname.
Of course
And
he
somehow,
did.
the discovery got even worse from there, as it was revealed that a friend of his had shown him how to access the deep web and how to share these photographs in practically an untraceable way,
What?
thus allowing him to continue being active in these predatory groups, no matter what restrictions were placed on him. After Canadian police made this discovery, Christopher would yet again be arrested, and this time they had the chance to really send a message and put him away forever, as clearly letting him walk away the first time was a mistake, as he wasn't reformed even in the slightest. And so, to make up for this, the judge would give Christopher Neal the whopping sentence of just 5.5 years, with time served, meaning that he would only end up in jail for a little over 14 months.
What the fuck are they doing?
At this point, they want people like this in society.
Nah, this is actually...
At this point, they
alright.
want people like this to walk around.
This shit gonna heat me up, I ain't gonna lie. Bro, they had the chance again to put years on this nigga head, and they gave him 5? And what they say, he only served 12?
They
14?
said 14 months.
Yo,
That's a little over a year. It's a year and 2 months.
Bro.
That's so like...
They play...
Get this out my face.
Bro,
I'm
this
done.
nigga is like...
I'm too sensitive to watch this because I feel like crying. Like, what the fuck? Like...
He playing, bro. Like, he basically doing whatever he wants.
Please tell me people were at least protesting for him to get a longer sentence, because I fucking would. Cause what the fuck?
I need to see at the end of this video.
What is this?
I need to see. There's 18.
What?
It's like 2 minutes left of this video. I need to see that. Like,
do they ever get justice? Because that is not.
What's
justice.
that shit called? We need. What is it?
He did a total of what? 6 years.
We need street justice.
We need him to be brutally tortured and murdered.
Bro.
Bring back
I hope.
medieval torture for people like this.
Yeah, put the nigga in the bull.
Literally, thank you. Like,
or put the rats on his stomach and let him crawl out.
Yeah,
Heat that
hang him
motherfucker up.
upside down.
What else? What else ones we got?
There's some crazy shit.
What else? Oh,
burned him at the stake.
When they had him, when they had you in that thing, and then they got your body with all ropes, and then like they twist it, and then like your body just like fucking tearing apart.
Hang him from his balls.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, that one, but like, is that like, that might be like a slave one, because like they did that on Django. But I don't know if that's just a slave one or that goes back. Because remember they did that to him on Django?
No.
Remember at the end, like when they caught him, when he was like a badass, and then they was about to...
I don't think I've seen the end of Django.
Oh no, not hang him by his balls. They was about to... What they was about to do to him? I think they was about to burn him. Or cut him off, something like that.
They need to cut his off. They need to do something.
On God. This is crazy.
Okay, because...
We need a good ending. Come on, Nick, please. I mean, I know it's not your fault.
Praised the sentence as a win, and Christopher vowed to change his ways, but it just
You're
doesn't
lying.
sit right that as of 2016, Mr. Swirl, the man responsible for dozens and dozens of instances of extreme child abuse, which by the way are just the ones that we know of, is a free man, now living a normal life in Vancouver.
Wow.
The worst of all, he now has access to share this material through untraceable avenues, meaning that there's a good chance that he could still be out there obtaining,
He is. What do you
sharing,
mean there's a good
and
chance?
who knows?
He didn't learn
maybe
shit.
even producing his content. The
If
case
he
of
was-
Mr. Swirl is such a frustrating one. For once, a case of this nature gained worldwide attention and was pursued by the full extent of the law.
They
with
couldn't
the
put
folks
him
over at
away?
Interpol doing a fantastic job with the case.
Sorry as
only for
fuck.
it all to be deflated once he was finally captured. And just knowing that he's out there living a normal life after all this, after all the lives that he's forever affected, makes this one of the most disheartening cases we've covered to date.
That's it, bro.
So he went to... Let me get this straight. He went to jail for 5 years,
Yes.
got out, went back to doing the exact same shit, and they said, oh, let's throw him in for 1 more year. That's gonna teach him a lesson. What?
That's crazy.
He did 5 years and didn't give a fuck. What is 1 more year gonna do? He's obviously still out there doing the same thing.
I ain't gonna lie, you get 5 years for like, I ain't gonna, like, bro, like, I got a ticket that I gotta pay. I just paid it, but if I didn't pay it, I would probably get a warrant, and then I would I probably... Isn't that what you get for like a not paying a ticket, like a warrant, and you go to jail for like 5 years? Is
I
it
don't think
like
you'd
the?
go for 5 years, but
Oh, I mean, you go at least for like what, three, 2. But I mean, it's just the fact that he's getting 5 off of some many shit like this. They should have just. They easily could have gave him life right then and there. That nigga got away with a lot, bruh. Wow. And he's still alive. I was hoping like he got sniped. Somebody sniped him or some shit. No type of street
some
justice.
people really just don't get their karma. That's crazy.
Like I was, yeah, it's crazy that some people don't like.
It's okay though, cause he will.
No, he will, of course. It's always gonna catch up.
Yeah, I believe it. Everything always comes back around.
But it just sucks how
one
niggas.
way or another.
It just sucks how people could do evil stuff for a long time and then like they could just die with no consequences on Earth. That's crazy as fuck. I mean,
I think there's consequences.
No. I believe there's consequences too. Yeah. I definitely believe there's consequences, but they just don't face them on like the physical and on Earth. Damn, that's crazy. Fuck. Damn, I'm kind of lost. I'm like lost because I'm like what? Like I just heard all that shit, but like
I just feel sick. Like
he got away with that shit.
How could you do that to so many people and just get shrugged off in court? I don't get it.
And mind you, people know where he lives at because he has to, doesn't he have to register as an offender and whatever?
Yeah.
So niggas know where he live at.
Yeah.
Because on like the app, it shows all the so they know where he stays. Damn.
That's just crazy.
This was fuck. They did all that hard work, unswirling his face, doing all this bullshit,
tracking him,
just for him to,
just for Canada to be like, well, hey there, don't do that again.
Man, that's crazy, bruh. Canada, wow.
This was disappointing. It's not your fault, Nick, but
damn. So Canada, all right. If anybody from Canada watching this video, so is it like Canada? Is there a lot of pedos in Canada? Is that like what I'm getting from this? Yeah, like
that's what I'm getting is that the judges are covering up for him because they're doing the same thing or something.
It must be a lot of that activity in Canada then, because if he's getting man, I don't know. That's crazy as fuck. That's wild though. Man,
that is crazy.
That's hella sick. Damn, I wasn't expecting like
kids.
And that's what we know of.
Wild.
That's what we know of. He could have done some like way more like wild shit. We just don't even know. And that nigga really flexed on everybody, like the police, everybody in the picture.
Not even charges for being on the run. Like,
and he's still doing this because he's probably on the dark web doing this shit.
No, he definitely is.
Him and he did that to his brother. This is just crazy, bro. This is just damn. This nigga.
That's disgusting.
Oh my god. I mean, it's crazy that he actually can have kids one day.
I hope
that's crazy.
Nobody's that fucking stupid to ever have a kid with him. Please do some fucking research if you're gonna freaking date somebody.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Fuck, man. But look, man, that's the video, y'all. This is just wild, bruh. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And catch you on the next video. Later.